everyone, Selena for Who is Jesus Today, and I have some good news to share with all of you. I'm picking up, discerning the Holy Spirit blowing some changes into my life, but also in my mind, right, and my heart, to go in a different direction. And I'm not sure, you're not always sure where that direction is going to be. Does such a life exist? Does such experience exist? Let's look back to St. John, the 3rd chapter, when Jesus was having a conversation with a religious leader by the name of Nicodemus. If you're interested in finding out more that I've said on this chapter, I do have a video up in that regard, and it also is referring to the Holy Spirit blowing as a wind, but it also speaks about what it means to be born again. So if you wanted to hear more about that, based on this chapter and the interactions that Jesus was having with Nicodemus. But also, the Holy Spirit is being described as the wind. That's the symbolism. So a symbolism is a part of the plan of God. God does work out through a symbolism, as long as we keep our hearts and we worship always the Creator and not the elements of nature that were created, or nature itself, or one another, but that we worship the true and the living God. But God does reveal himself and manifest himself also throughout that which he has created, like the wind, like the water, like fire, and like you and me. All right? So in St. John, the 3rd chapter, the wind blows. This is John 3:8. The wind blows where it wishes. Oh yeah, it does. And you hear the sound of it, but cannot tell where it comes from and where it goes. Let's see. And where it goes, right. And then it says, so is everyone who is born of the Spirit. So is everyone who is born of the Spirit. Because when you're born of the Spirit, you have now a lifestyle, an existence. You're not always, you don't know, okay, God has you here today, you are doing something, you are called to do this, you feel it in your spirit, but then tomorrow, or sometime in the future or next year, you're going to be in a totally different place. Not always geographically, but spiritually, right? Emotionally, occupationally. And so just think about it. The Holy Spirit blowing as a wind. You don't see it, but you feel something in you is changing. There's going to be a turning point, but it's the work of the Holy Spirit. Speaking of strong winds, I know one of the I've heard and I've seen it, and I've seen that wind in action. I happen to like the wind, by the way. I don't mind when it's windy, but I do get concerned when things start to fall. I don't want to see trees falling down. But yeah, I have something that I like about the wind. Not the storms, but about the wind. And I know one of the most windiest places that you can find on the map is down there in Argentina, near the end of the earth, not too far from Patagonia, all the way down. It's windy, windy, windy as you go further down to the end of the tip of the cone of Argentina. So that could be true also for Chile, but I know it is for Argentina. So I was looking at a woman in the wind, and I think the wind just about knocked her down almost, if it didn't. That's how windy it can get. But what I want to say and to rejoice and give God glory and honor for is that I personally, I'm going to make this personal now, I personally feel the wind of the Holy Spirit blowing into some new territory and direction. And so, Holy Spirit, have your way. I just want to submit to what the Lord is doing with his mighty hand. Some of you out there, now I made it personal, I like to include you. You may be coming into some place of changes and newness. And this is not something that's going to be bad for you, because it is a work of the Holy Spirit that is bringing you into some new territory, and that this is where you need to come to right now at this time in your lives. And so it is good. The Lord is doing a good thing. And you know, sometimes when you feel that some things are falling off of you and dying, even say relationships and experiences, and sometimes you know you don't want to make people into a crutch or certain circumstances, but we do, because even for some of us who are the most adventuresome, and I do like adventure, there is something that is very comforting too about predictability, right? Knowing that you're going to be kind of in that same a circle of influence over those people. You're going to be listening to those same people that you were listening to since the world shut down in 2020, and now it's 2024, and now it's the wind of the Holy Spirit says, well, you know what, you've been there for a couple of years, you know it, but the wind of the Holy Spirit is pushing you along in some new direction. Let it be. I say it first for me. Let it be. Yeah. Not the song. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Not that one. But let it be. Let the Holy Spirit be open to the Holy Spirit having its way. Let's not resist the changes that the Holy Spirit is coming like a wind, and it's pushing us along, and you feel it, and you're kind of looking over in the back and say, well, I've been in that place for the last 2 or 3 years. Well, that's gone. That's the past now. Yeah, you may have been able to secure a certain say clientele base where certain types of viewers, they were really into what you were saying and producing, and they like you, but you're going into a new season. Oh, well, I may lose some of my likes or views. That's okay. That's okay. It's time for something different, because the Holy Spirit is blowing you along. And there are those who were entertaining or a blessing, and you enjoy certain individuals, certain occupations and territories where you were involved, even a ministry, and you want to kind of hold on to that with one hand, because it's always like a place to run back to. It's a comfort zone. But now you have to say no. You have to release your hand from holding it. You're going into a new direction, new territory, into the unknown, into the unseen. But you can trust God. He's going to carry you along safely. So, we are open, and we are not going to try and hold on to what's old, so we could embrace what's new. And we're going to let the Holy Spirit just guide us along like the wind into the new direction and the territories where we need to be. And that may mean that some of what was comfortable and familiar, or what you even enjoyed in certain activities or company, that it's not that it's just say that it's bad, but it's not where you're going. And what I've learned, and sometimes, we try to resist a little bit, you can't carry along those or circumstances or experiences into some of the new places where you are going. You have to let go. God, by your grace, I can let go of what needs to be let go of. And so can you out there. So for some of you, you probably could resonate. The Holy Spirit is working in you, and you're being directed and carried on by the wind to go into new direction. And so be it. Allow it to be, accept it, embrace it, and get ready to walk right into it. Right into those promised territories. You see, the seasons, we say we want to walk into the promised land. We want to go into the new. And a lot of times, God, He's a good Father. He's loving, kind, and patient. We're not as ready as we think we are. We think we are ready, but not as ready as we thought we were. I've learned that. Okay, and so God is making you ready, because a lot of times you and me are not ready. We're just not ready. But when you start to feel the Holy Spirit now working in you, and the wind is carrying you along, because you're ready. You're ready. I'm ready. We're ready for the change. We're ready for the newness. We're ready for the new territory. We are ready for those new contacts and people and experiences that await us. And I believe for many of us, and they're ready also. If God was getting them ready, it's like He was getting you and me ready. So embrace where the Holy Spirit is guiding you. Just go in the wind. Yeah. And wherever it is, whoever you have to connect with, I say this for me in faith, that and for you, that when you get there and you are in that place of interacting, you're ready, they're ready, and the place where you had to be is ready. Because God is working on all fronts. On all fronts. And those are my thoughts. And I believe that, yes, some of you out there needed to be reminded of this as well. Thank you. You can like and subscribe. Until next time, Shalom.